And good morning on this Tuesday AM. Welcome back to another edition of the Beef and Barnzy show. This show is so good we don't even need music intros anymore. Joining me as always, internet personality, two-time titleist, and 10-time Weber Cup participant.
Yeah. It will be when we bowl in October. That'll be number 10. I think it's 10 for you as well, isn't it? In October, or are you?
No, I think it's a few more than that.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I skipped a few in the middle, but yeah, I actually don't know.
A very exciting weekend on the bowling front. Lots of things going on, lots of things to talk about. So we bought a guy who can compete with me in the jaw moving stakes. From Sweep the Rack, it's Big Mike. What's going on?
Fellas, what's good? Good morning.
That's a very professional sounding setup you got there. I got to say, it sounds like I'm listening to talk radio. It's like Mad Dog coming in.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I was just busy counting the corpse gambling winnings from last night's bowling bet. So you caught me in the middle of counting money over here. But, yeah, we're good. We had a good night last night. We're glad that bowling is back. We're glad we were able to bet on it. Shout to my guys out there, Dave and Rob and PJ, throwing the bets in with us. And, yeah, it was a good night.
I can tell Dell wasn't in your corp because
No, you got to apply. You got to apply to get in. Sorry.
No, it doesn't matter what Dell brings.
It just –
okay.
Yeah.
Advice taken.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's exactly. You just take the other side, whatever it is. Doesn't matter how sensical it is. Just take the other side.
You know, some people on the internet, some people like Lucas Wiseman were saying the same thing about us. But let's be clear, we mopped them last night, so we're back, and there should be no shit talking on the internet anymore about our betting skills for bowling. We're going back at them again tonight. But Stu, like you said, man. Awesome weekend of bowling and a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Let's do just a real quick roundup of our bowling. Chris, how did the regional go?
34-foot Del Ballard, and appropriately named. That was the black cloud pattern. They hooked off the gutter in the first 15 feet, and then not too much after that. So they were tricky. It was not. It wasn't Jonesboro hard, but they were no fun. And Anthony Lavery won for the fourth time in a row at that same regional. I didn't see the other three, but he pretty much put it on him again. I think he lost 3 or 4 matches, and still ended up winning by 60 or 70. So he had average field by like 10 a game over AJ Chapman. Who else is in there? Sean Lavery. I was 5th. I didn't play particularly well, but it was nice to compete.
Okay. Well, I bowled okay in San Antonio until the 10th frame when I couldn't lose, but managed to find a way to lose. So we'll move on from that. I guess there was, these things happen. Now, moving on to the weekend, what should we do? Should we break down some of the interesting things that happened, Mike, or should we have a little chat about the format?
Let's start with the format first, I guess. Yeah, there's a lot of different topics to talk about for things that happen, so we can go in many different directions there. But yeah, if you want to chop it up about the format, we can. I know I kind of got the impression from our conversations outside of the show here that you weren't such a fan of the format.
I didn't mind Sunday at all. Saturday was a little rough for me. From a viewer point of view, it was weird the way they had the names up they had the guys who were going first on the right side, I think, and the guys who were going second on the left side, but they were then bowling on opposite lanes. That was a bit weird. Either the people that go first be on the left side because that's traditional in bowling, or just do it like it was a scoreboard and be like, who's ball in the left lane, who's ball in the right lane, who's ball. So that was weird. So then, as I didn't have sound on, I assumed that they were bowling each other, which they weren't. So I didn't particularly. I found that a little hard to keep track of what was going on. I don't like that they don't eliminate anybody. I felt like they bowled for a long time, and EJ, after a game and a half, it became apparent he wasn't going to get to second, so he didn't care. He was just going through the motions of seeing what he could do. And I just think when we've got a slot for live bowling, that we want something to happen. We want to get rid of somebody. Like, I don't know. That was my main beef with it. I felt like it was a lot of bowling that didn't really matter. If Jacob hadn't shot 300 or Kyle hadn't shot 299, there really wouldn't have been any moments where the audience were on the edge of their seat because the shots just didn't matter. Like, you know, they were decided before the 10th frame. Nobody was eliminated. The bowlers, like, they wanted to be first, but if they weren't first, they didn't seem to really care one way or the other. So I think that was my major beef with it.
So here's the thing for me. Like, there's always been talk, in my opinion, amongst bowling fans about, you know, what would it be like to see qualifying on TV, right? And we got a little bit of that with Flow Bowling, you know, for the people who subscribe to that. But, you know, this was more of a nationally televised, small piece of qualifying is the way that I looked at it. And so I was excited about the prospect of being able to see some qualifying on TV. Now, after watching it, I'll admit, you know, I think it didn't create a lot of drama, you know, and really I think that's your point, Stu. Like, you're looking for drama. You know, you're looking for those awesome moments throughout the show that have you on the edge of your seat. And yeah, putting the qualifying or a quote unquote qualifying round on TV, I don't really think it led to any of the drama that you really want to see. So perhaps that's an idea that now that we've seen it, should probably be put to rest going forward, and, you know, should probably be kept in mind somewhat in terms of what the PBA is going to do, and if they're going to continue to do some made for TV events going forward. But listen, I mean, it was a lot of bowling. You know, it was 4 hours of bowling on Saturday. It was 5 hours of bowling on Sunday, and obviously Sunday had a little bit more action to it, a little bit more drama. But I'll say this, the last time I really got to sit down and enjoy that much bowling in one sitting, which for me as a fan is awesome, was when the World Series was still with ESPN, and they decided that even though they were going to be taped shows, they were going to allow you to watch them live on the ESPN app. I don't know if you guys remember that or not.
I do. It was in Reno, I believe.
Yeah, and that was like 2 days, I believe. It was usually like a Saturday, Sunday, where it was just 4 or 5 step ladders in a day. And, you know, you couldn't get enough. So it kind of reminded me of that. But thinking about it a little bit more, given the current situation, you know, I ask, would it have been a better decision and I don't know how much, you know, with this said, I don't know how much Fox, how much control they have. I'm sure they have a large amount of control of say.
Not on that broadcast.
But would it have been a better idea for the PBA to split up some of the shows, you know, and go more days, more shows, instead of cramming so much action into 2 days with 4 or 5 hours, et cetera, how they did it?
Yeah, I mean, I think CBS have their time slot and they allot it for a weekend, and they want to fill that weekend. I just think the thing that makes qualifying is that you're actually trying to qualify, whereas that was seeding, that wasn't really qualifying.
Right. That's why I say qualifying, right?
Yeah, well, that like I say, that was my major issue. I enjoyed the fact that we were on that much. I thought it was awesome. I just felt like that whole dynamic of the players would have been completely flipped 180 if they were eliminating one guy. That's all they had to do.
Or what if there was some prize money involved in that first day? Do you think that would have created a little more drama?
They sort of was, because I would imagine that on the ladder there was a different prize for each spot. So if you were the second seed, you kind of see what I mean?
No, but I'm saying 10 grand winner take all to the high qualifier, or
and like possibly, I just think that like guys don't get, unless they're going to get eliminated. Guys just, that's only going to affect one or two guys still, and those guys were still pushing for that top seed. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, it was what it was.
And listen, I'll be honest. To me, as a fan, there's two main ways to create that drama. The fans themselves bringing the drama and raising the drama level of the players and the way that they're into it, like we've seen in Bayside for the league, et cetera. And, big money. You put big money out there, it's going to create drama, prize money, et cetera, bigger prizes. So I know the PBA is in a tough spot right now, because of COVID. You can't have fans, and obviously there's not the resources there to just dump a bunch of money into these made-for-TV events with limited amounts of players, and not everybody has a shot at it. So I get all those aspects, but yeah, it's tough, man. I enjoyed it, but I hear what you're saying. I think a little more drama needed, especially for those shows on Saturday.
So just quickly, this was the first controversy on the weekend as far as I saw it. So this is the shot before it. Chris Prater. This was game 2, I believe. Yeah, Prater was up. And I'm glad that this didn't make a difference, because Prater strikes, and they show the replay showing that he's really close to the foul line. And I was watching this in the bowling center, and I was texting with you. I'm showing all of this because they showed both. But look how close he gets to the foul line here. Like, that's fine, right? He's really close to the foul line. The next one, I think it's a foul. Like, I don't know about you, Mike, but I think
I did too.
The foul guy missed it. So, because he stops like almost that short, and then he goes forwards. And I just don't see how you can be that close to the foul line and move forward and not foul. So here we go.
He's really close to the foul line. Ooh.
And then he moves. Like, that's a foul.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if it's not, that's as close as you can get without fouling.
I don't think it's as close as you can get. I think it's a foul. Like,
yeah, if you can't see a strip, if you can't see white there,
I mean,
you can see it clearly in the other one.
He was really close to the foul line, and then he let go of it and he moved forwards. There was nowhere for him to go.
Did anyone see if they had a foul monitor?
Randy mentions it, and he says that the foul adjudicator didn't do it, but it depends which side he's on, because if he's on the other side, he's got to look past the cap in, and it's way harder to do that.
Right.
Because traditionally he's on the right-hand side, and you can't see him in the shot, so I'm guessing he's on the right-hand side. So, I mean, I know last year in Bayside he had no problem calling the foul on Anthony. And I mean, he fouled. He just touched the foul line, but I don't know. I thought that was a foul. And then I guess the next one that was weird, just quickly while we're got this up, was this one. So Duke needs a double to be.
All right, wait. You got to pause this for a second. Hold on. We got to talk about something before this even happens. What is Norm Duke? When Norm Duke bowls on TV, what is Norm Duke known for above anyone else? Come on, guys.
Hey.
Right? The tape adjustments. I mean, if you're a fan of bowling and you've been watching bowling for any kind of time, legend with the tape adjustments going in, long tape adjustments when there's really no need for a tape adjustment, 7 in a row, tape adjustment, right? I mean, this is what Duke is known for. Guy, now you got to play it. I mean, the guy's known for this.
So he needs a double, and this is maybe the greatest shot I've ever seen for a strike when you need one. Absolutely splits the 8-9. And we're watching at the back. We're watching the bowling center again. No sound. And Norm, I guess I've learned this because somebody told me from Norm's inner sanctum. Norm, like when he moves the tape, he's actually moves it a little around to change, like actually change his release. And I'm like, how can he possibly be changing his release after throwing one of the greatest shots I've ever seen? Like that was the most textbook strike of all time. And then this was a fantastic job by by CBS, sorry, to find this replay. This was unbelievable. So the tape came out on the shot, and the camera guy found the shot where it came out. So I really don't know how far it is along. I think it's pretty close. But anybody who knows how much of a disaster Norm has with his thumb knew that this wasn't going to end well.
Well, the fact that he's gone to interchangeables finally after going on tour for 48 years.
Here it is. Look, they find it. It's incredible. Right there.
Yep.
So I was just saying, how incredible a camera job was that to find that shot?
Well, how incredible is it that, that he's involved in that, right?
Well, it's not really, because he takes it out and puts it in and takes it out and puts it in so many times that the tape gets.
Well, all of it's sitting on that piece of cork. And so that cork, I mean, it's 98 degrees and humid and all that.
And then it's like one of the worst shots I've ever seen Norm Duke throw when he needed a strike.
As awkward as I might have ever seen him throw a shot right there.
No, see, I disagree, Stu. I think it is shocking because you would expect a guy who always fiddles with his tape after throwing such good shots to always have his tape correct and never have an incident like that. And that's what I found so shocking about it. I see the perspective you're coming from. Like, you're saying because he fiddles with the tape a lot, it's going to happen. Okay. I got you.
Quick tip, right? Norm uses cork. I actually tried using cork for a while because it's like it's not quick. It's not quick release. What guys who use cork do is they actually they glue a piece of tape to the back of the cork. So because the cork, obviously the material doesn't stick very well. So a lot of the guys actually have a piece of tape glued on the back. The reason why I know this is because the old boys would show me how to do it. Because Eugene used cork, Duke uses cork. I think Walter Ray used it a little bit at one point. I don't think he does at the minute, but
he does. Anyway, I don't think he does anymore, but he did for a long time.
That was the insider tip that they gave me for how to get around it. So I think that was most of the controversies that I could think of. I'm not going to bring up Bill's gutter ball.
Let's talk about Bill and Prather, man. I mean, everybody knows Bill's my guy. Bill's my guy forever. I had said it on Twitter. He could throw gutters from now until the end of his career. He's still my guy. But, this is becoming a little bit of a problem for Bill O'Neill fans with this mountain of Chris Prather that he hasn't been able to get over, I think, 3 times now consecutively.
Is it only 3? I think it's more than that.
Three in big spots, right? 3 in big spots. You got the PBA playoffs, the TOC, and now this show as well.
Didn't he play him in the? He took him out in the shootout as well.
Which one was that? Oh, that's derby? Right. Oh, yeah, the strike derby. I forgot about that. Yes, absolutely. So 4. I'm concerned about this.
So I mean, I like Bill. We like Bill. We all like Bill, but there's nothing better than trolling Bill, is there? So here we go. 2
crossovers though. Double Brooklyn. Oof.
Yeah, I mean,
Brooklyn gutter ball. Oh.
So Bill actually had the opportunity to put some pressure on Prather here. Oh, there we go.
Oh my goodness! Listen, whenever Bill is on TV, especially live, I'm Bill's hype man. I'm not going to lie. So I always call the sports talk radio stations in Philly to let them know that local bowler Bill O'Neill is going to be on. I didn't do it this time for some reason. It just slipped my mind. I was busy. I had some other stuff going on. I'm glad I didn't, because I would have had to answer some questions from the sports fans in the Philadelphia area for that one. But Next time, maybe tonight. I might call today. He's on tonight. He's going to be bowling the King of the Hill, King of Bowling. I might call this afternoon and let him know. So, Bill, if you're watching, you better bring your A game tonight. Because if I'm calling, I don't want to have to answer for your crappy bowling, my guy.
I don't know if Bill drags himself down to our level, but
yeah, he's always on the podcast. He's never. So he probably is not. Well, he's probably on some other podcast right now while we're doing this one.
That could be. Speaking of somebody who was involved in the controversial or somewhat controversial foul, we have the eventual champion of the tour clash, tour finals, the other finals. What I can't keep them all straight.
The
tour finals. It was the PBA tour
major.
Final.
Oh yeah, the major. Sorry, the major title, because they added. I mean, now it's best of 2, so that's probably a major format now. Well, with 6/2.5 titles, my Weber Cup and former Team USA teammate, and the most polarizing figure not named Belmonte in bowling. Pick it out, Afro Fish.
What's up, guys? What a great intro, Barnzy. Love it.
Bravo.
Fantastic.
Congrats.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Sorry to wake you up.
No, it's 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. I've been awake the last few days. Not enjoying the time off right now, but
Somebody needs to tell your pick.
yeah, it's getting a little beat up here and bent, and I might need to go get some new ones for the show tomorrow. Here's a little rough.
You didn't pull it out very often.
Well, I was down in most matches. I mean, it's kind of hard. Like, that was it was just a totally different environment, with no fans. And the big thing to me, I kind of treated it almost like an action match. I was very vocal. I showed my emotions. I was pretty upset, pretty fried out on some bad shots. But I think that might have given me a little advantage. I tried talking to the players. They didn't really want to talk back. So in the qualifying portion, that's why I guess Randy kept coming to me, because none of the guys wanted to have fun. So me
and Mike were talking about this. He's a great bowler, but there isn't a person who isn't related to Prather who's rooting for him. Like he just doesn't let the crowd in. I mean, to be fair, Mike, in a lot of in Bill's for Bill, he's kind of a little bit the same way as well. Like in the past,
yeah, I mean, aren't most of the guys out there? I think the majority of the guys out there are. I think, Kyle is one of the exceptions to where, he had, and Kyle, I said on Twitter, maybe you'll agree, maybe not. I feel like you found the right balance between a very comfortable balance for you between enjoying yourself out there and having a good time, which I know you like to do, but also really buckling down in those moments of focus too, because you were having a good time on the show, but there were, when you needed to, I noticed that you upped your focus and you buckled down in those times when you had to get up and make those shots. So is it fair to say that you found a nice balance there for yourself?
Yeah, most definitely. That's been a big focus for me this year. I've been the number 1 seed now twice. And, being the number 1 seed coming into this show, that was the big thing, especially with no fans there. I need a trigger. I need something to like click me into the moment. And luckily I was able to split first frame again, kind of like in Jonesboro. I split first frame. I made it. I was able to kind of joke about it. And that was like a little trigger for me. And but then with no fans, it was a lot easier to really just believe in my ability, stay within my own emotions and control what I can control. And that was the things that I tried to do best. And obviously I got to have a few moments, but it's a different world out there. Like even whenever I go back and think about it now, it's no fans, there's still a camera, so there's still TV, but in the moment of it all, it's definitely different for me. But it really feels good to be able to buckle down, stay serious, and still execute the shots, in those big moments.
Stu, not having the fans there also makes it tough. He's right. I mean, not having a crowd there to feed off of that energy, I think it makes it even harder to relax a little bit, let your personality come out a bit,
I agree.
And I guess
it's not a problem for me and Barnes, because that's what normally happens when we're on the show. Nobody cheers for us.
It honestly, like the last month or so when I've been practicing, I've done a lot of deep practicing, just really trying to find a zone. I'm not too mechanical in my practices and stuff like that, but I've tried
Really?
to. Nah, not really. Like, I don't really know what to work on.
Kyle, the technician. No way.
But being on the show, it kind of felt like I was in some of my practices because it was 2 shots at a time. I've been bowling on a lot of different patterns, one short, one long, just in my practices back home. And it, like I keep saying, it was a different world, but it was something that we all work and focus on, focus on the process and stay in the moment. And that was the big thing. It was a big process day for me. And I tried to stay in it as much as I could, even whenever, the moments got a little big.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I thought you did great. I mean, obviously, to take down Simo, he's seemed like you and Simo have definitely, until last night, had definitely been the standout players down in Jupiter both times you've been. Because, I mean, Prather won the Strike Derby, and I find it fascinating listening to his interviews because he talks like he solved the myth of the Strike Derby. No, bro.
You got 8 strikes. Like, you got 8.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, I didn't fall into the trap of hooking it. Yes, you didn't fall into the trap of throwing 13 strikes each round like Kyle and EJ and Simo did. Like, it was just bizarre, but whatever. I thought that you and Simo were probably the best 2 players in the Strike Derby. And then fast forward to the next tournament. I felt like Simo did pretty good in that with the backup ball. That was kind of entertaining. Sean came out on top, but I felt like you guys both bowled pretty decent in that. And then again, to lead both ladders down there. So you feeling pretty comfortable for your match on Friday?
Match on Friday.
Is it Friday or Wednesday?
No.
Wednesday. Oh, okay.
Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday.
My bad.
Yeah. I get to bowl PD. I've been looking forward to that for pretty much since the announcement came out. I think he's going to be sharp. I see him posting that he's bowling tournaments all the time, and so I'm expecting a big game from Pete. It is the house shot, so
the expectations are making yourself believe that.
Hey man, I'm just trying to. I want to.
I mean, there is somebody that Tommy got his practice regimen from.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, I mean, he's making it look good on social media.
Listen, he might be watching. Don't give him a reason. I'll tell you that.
Well, that's what they're trying to tell me.
I know. Don't give him a reason. Don't
poke the bear.
Actually,
I'm like, guys,
from the fans' perspective, give him a reason because I'd love to see that performance on Wednesday night. No, I mean, Kyle bowled well, but I'd love to see Pete Weber getting anybody's ass, whether it's Kyle, whoever. Give him a reason. That would be great.
Oh, I mean, I'm definitely going to poke the bear. Like, they tried telling me that with Belmo at the playoffs. And, yeah, I ain't scared of Pete. I mean, he is a senior, guys. Like,
So Russell's saying that I'm a little bitter about Prather here. Wait till we get Wesley on later and I talk about lefties shooting 900. Don't even get me started.
How sick was that, bro? We heard that in the middle of the show. Simo went and checked his phone on commercial break. He comes back around. He's like, Wesley just bowled 900. Then he goes and tells Randy in the booth, Wesley just bowled 900. And then by the 7th frame, half the world knew Wesley Low had bowled 900.
The thing that's amazing is I didn't believe it because I've never seen Wesley shoot 3 200s in a row.
Hell, I watched him bowl the regional last week in Grove City. It wasn't pretty. I was like, is this the same guy? And he did it in a hat. Like, I just think that's even more amazing because, I can't even wear hats. But, I don't know how people bowl in hats and then shoots 900.
He's been on the rash plan. I think when he finally turned adult at like 24 and stopped beating up on little Johnny and the 14-year-olds, I thought, man, I got myself a good partner for these doubles tournaments. Got me a lefty. I didn't know I was going to have to carry him. So.
Luckily, he's a little guy. Probably gets a little heavy though.
If I wanted somebody who didn't strike, I could just bowl with me again. So,
but yeah. So Kyle, down there, like, with the whole situation, like, you were behind against Prather, like you were 1-0 behind, and then he started with the front 3 or 4, even with that foul. What was your mindset on getting back into that? Because obviously Prather's been bowling unbelievable on TV. I mean, like he's almost unstoppable. It feels like.
Yeah. So that was
mindset.
unique. Yeah, that was a unique situation. Obviously, I missed in the 10th, and I got fast again. Now that I'm able to go back and watch it, I was able to watch the Prather match before I came on. The urethane didn't look very good, but to me, I thought I just made another bad shot. So I was already very upset, very frustrated with that. And it's quick turnarounds from game to game. And like I said, I was quite emotional, letting my emotions go throughout that show. But, it is all you got to do is win one game. At the end of the day, that game's done and we have 10 frames. Like he's lined up. I'm not so lined up. I mean, I'm not feeling the most comfortable, the most confident going into that match. And, but then in the 3rd frame, when I 2-pinned again with the urethane, I was like, yeah, I did turn around. I did Belmo at the first shot to start the next game, which that kind of triggered me there, a personal trigger. Like, yeah, I dead laced it. Okay. And that kind of got me in the zone of that game. But, that ball change, whenever I changed out of the urethane in the 5th frame on the right lane, I was not committed on which ball I was going to throw until I was like walking up to the approach. Like I was, and I'm like, I don't want to look over there at Sean and Matt. Like, and I'm like, I'm not looking over there. Like, I'm going to have to make this decision and it needs to go right now because I'm up to bowl. What are we going to do? But, so at the end of the day, I had to just try and stay in the moment and know that if I got a chance, I thought he was going to bowl a great game. I know he did switch to the hustle link on the left lane. And I thought that was going to give him, I thought I might have a chance just because it was a lot sharper off the end of the pattern compared to the other hustle that he was throwing.
PBI,
so I did have a feeling that he might miss once or twice and I might have had a little bit of breathing room, but it was a big, process, just trying to stick to the process, making that ball change on the right lane. Once it hooked back the first time, then we got pretty comfortable because I was pretty lined up on the left lane and it was pretty much just a right lane battle for me.
Quick thing here, Kyle. I've got you some merch requests. Kyle, where can I get a Team Fish bracelet? I've noticed some players on tour have them.
Jeremy, I can send you some. I have some personal bracelets. We normally just give those out. So, Jeremy, I will reach out to you on Facebook.
Yeah,
when we're done
Kyle
here.
A message to his Kyle Troup page.
Yeah, just send me a message, Jeremy. We'll get you hooked up for sure.
Kyle, we're in the overall rank of things. You have a couple of doubles title. You have Malmo. You have this one and a couple others. Where's the PBA Tour Finals rank in your overall?
Well, it is a major, so I finally got my first major, so it feels good. Feels good to have a major under my belt.
You have to call it the so-called 6th major, like they do with the players on the golf. The so-called 5th major. That's how I'm going to refer to it from now on, just to troll Barnes. Chris didn't even think it should be a title. I'm going to call it the 6th major.
All right, so the 6th
major. With all the drama that built up on Saturday, how could it not be a major?
Jesus.
Dr. Barnes, how can you hate so much when you won the Motel 6 Road to Riches for like 200
some big cash though.
It was like 250 grand.
It was a stone cold money grab, just like that. It's made
with a title.
Well, but here's the thing: I'd rather have the 250 grand. than 30 grand in a title.
I said for years that all those second place finishes with those 2 world riches, I actually have way closer to 40 titles than 20. It all evens out.
But my point is, you should have love for the limited events.
Hey, look,
that's my point.
I have lots of love.
What about the TRC back in the day, Barnes?
No issue with guys bowling, and the guys have earned their spots on. Well, until this one, most of them have earned their spots to those. But
for reference, Kyle, did you even qualify if Jesper was available?
Do what?
Did you even qualify if Jesper was available?
Yeah, Jesper wasn't even in the top 8.
Okay,
so
no, I was just...
Yeah, no, I would have made it either way with the 2-year running points. So, but I was just happy to finally get the bowl. I've been pretty close the last few years.
No,
I
no,
wanted the
yeah.
3D shot.
I made
title.
$500,000 off gimmick events. I love the gimmick events.
Hey, I'm pretty good in the
Just
free
that
money
PBA
stuff.
title.
I just don't count the titles. I count in the place that matters in my bank account. But
Well, I'm up to 6/2.5 now, so or however many halves.
Kyle,
so are you saying this is the most important one of all of them? You feel most?
No,
man, I have accomplished something.
Definitely not. I mean, it's a special win just because of the way I was able to win it.
CBS Kyle, what was I thinking? Of course you're gonna
CBS
win.
Kyle. Oh, I
Exactly.
lined him up, man. I told Bill. Yeah, well, oh man, that Saturday when we were in the qualifying portion, and I had the front six, and he's like, "Hey, man, you're not going to pick it out." And then the next frame, I ripped the log. Like, bro, you should have known not to even. It's CBS Kyle. I brought that up to him, man. Most people didn't remember that, but I was like, yeah, Stu and the guys, it was CBS Kyle for sure.
We're all about equality here. This is what happened when you weren't on CBS.
Yeah.
When we started.
I just needed a little Facebook Kyle is no good.
I feel like that beating that I put on you just reconcentrated the mind. You realize that if you couldn't beat the 35th guy in points, you probably weren't going to win. So I feel like that probably got you to just NDO, bro.
Oh, exactly. I mean, that between that, the whooping I took in Texas, and then getting thoroughly embarrassed on Facebook, losing to Stu. So I had to make up for it somewhere.
And based off that,
Tina's got my back.
You definitely don't want to bowl Cortez because he might beat you by about 250.
Oh boy, yeah. I'll stick to CBS and maybe some Dougie vision. I do have Dougie vision next week, so I got to behave on that. Yeah, right. Pick it up.
Here's my guys. If they weren't padding my pockets, they might have not gotten into much financial trouble. Thanks, Trey. I certainly didn't make any of it in Longview. I can tell you that.
Kyle, who you bowling? Who you bowling on Dougie Vision next week? Who you got a match against?
James Niffen. He's the UBA.
Okay.
He's the guy that beat
rematch from the ball contract match at Battle.
Yeah, the contract match. Yeah, and then I think our other match just fell through because a couple guys aren't making it down. They're worried about shutting the bowling center down too. So they're figuring out a second center, like a backup center. With all the stuff going on, the governor's trying to shut them down in North Carolina, but we're staying open. They're going to just keep trucking.
Kyle, I had one of the. I've had some pretty bad career moments this year. Some pretty devastating blows overall. It's been bad. Nothing was as bad as being called out by Dougie. I don't know how much of the liquor he'd been taking. But he said he would take me.
Oh boy!
I sure hope he wasn't talking about bowling. That guy
could get going, man.
A lingo lane with a bowling ball.
Stu, anytime you want to come out, I got a place for you to stay. I got a nice room here for you, man. Come on out.
I mean, come on, baby.
Ask Kyle. Listen, you've been out here, right? You were at Carolier a couple times. I think even as recently as last summer. They'll line up out the door to bowl you guys.
No, I get some of the guys, but this was Dougie.
Oh, worse than that, Stu. Worse than that.
I mean, come on.
Trust me. I'm serious.
Dougie has beaten Pete Weber. That is his claim to fame. He was on his stream. He said, "Yeah, I'm on Storm. Yeah, I beat Pete Weber." Just casuals, I'll get out.
So's Bobby Hall.
Bobby Hall, yeah. He's definitely the new Bobby Hall.
Kyle,
how do you like me now?
You brought up what's going on in North Carolina. You guys are down in Florida right now. Anybody who's following the news kind of knows things are ramping up down there too. What has I'm interested to hear what quarantine life has been like for you down in Florida while you're bowling. Are you kind of same old as far as your days on tour, or have things been a little bit different for you given the situation?
So, well, first off, the bowling center is actually closed right now. So we're able to have the event because it's a professional sports event or like sports arena type thing. So, because I guess it goes county to county on whether you can have businesses open or not. We've got to wear the masks and stuff in the center. All the crew's wearing them the whole time. I've still, I go out we had dinner last night, but I'm not going trying to shake a jig and go clubbing anywhere anytime soon. But I'm still going to go enjoy outdoors a little bit, responsibly with my mask. But for the most part, we've got Airbnb this week, staying with Simo, so we've just been chilling here a lot, trying to kind of follow the guidelines. I know a lot of the employees that are working the show, they're not going anywhere. They're pretty much to the bowl and to the hotel. So we're blessed to have a house this week, so it's a little nicer. We don't feel like we're just cooped up in the hotel. But for the most part, just kind of chilling with Simo and the trophy, my sixth major, or the so-called major.
I bet Simons was just like super pumped that he walked past your.
It was well. I left it at the bowl. Actually, it's in the box. They're like, "Where's your trophy?" I was like, "I forgot it at the bowl." I was like, but they're close, so it's in a good
Hey, Bob, there you go. That's how much it meant. You forgot the trophy.
Oh man, but it's been fun. It was a little interesting, after I beat Simo and he jetted out of the bowling center. Obviously, went right back to the house, and then I got back an hour later, and I'm like creeping in the door, like, okay, are we okay? Are we good? Like, are we boys? And then we were able to celebrate together. So it's fun. It's been a good time.
Simo is a hot flame, but it goes out pretty quickly. I remember when we were in Chicago, he laid a fairly decent blow when he lost that the one he led. Did he lead Wolf? And he lost to Rash? I think he led Wolf and he lost to Rash. And we've got the huge, the really big metal ball spinner things. And he came in and he unleashed his right hand into the side of that thing. And I'm like, he might have broken every bone in his hand with that one. And then he just walked out. And then we saw him like half an hour later. And he's like, how's it going? I'm just like.
But Simo, second place, 3 majors in a row.
I don't know if that's true or not, but that's we were talking about it last week about how close Simo really is to having about 15 titles.
Oh, it's retarded. Like,
it's
crazy. I mean, he's lost to Belmo 2 or 3 times.
Like, both some good games and lost, both a couple of bad ones and lost. And the
thing with Simo, he hadn't been practicing a ton. He's been working on the bowling center and stuff out in Vegas, but he's so freaking talented. Like, you can't tell. I mean, he comes out, shoots 1040. Doesn't matter if he takes 6 months off, he's going to be a top five in the world pretty much all around. I'm sitting here busting my ass bowling 4 days a week, for 3 months straight, trying to sneak one by him. It's pretty sick, man, to watch what he does and then just go to back up whenever he wants.
I know that Big Mike would have caught this, but the exchange between Simonson and Duke at the end of the match last night was like the greatest thing in the world. So Simonson threw it, he opened, and he comes back and Norm goes, "Man, I thought you threw that one good." Oh, and Simonson looks at him and he goes, "You thought I threw it good, Norm? That was awful. I'm glad you thought it was good. What I need to do, Norm, is I need to go home and practice. That was terrible."
Yeah.
Oh, God, I did catch that.
He might be practicing a little bit more.
The crazy thing, I know y'all were talking about Duke and the tape falling out. Like, so I was outside on the phone, and I came back in, and then I see on Facebook, and I'm like, "Duke, you good?" And he told me about it, and it was the cork and 8 pieces of tape. It all came out, and I guess he got his thumb molded, or he was getting a mold made, and there was residue left, and then that's probably what caused the cork and the tape to come flying out. And it was 98 degrees in Florida, but he said he lost 8 pieces of tape on top of the cork, and it all came out at once. I'm like, yeah, we would have needed another show, another time slot.
To be honest, that might have helped him knock the pins over. That much tape.
Yeah, add some. That's the extra weight. Yeah, we're taking away these weight holes. Got to add the weights in other places, I guess.
Do you have anything else for Kyle, Chris? Because I was going to quickly move on to Wesley, and
we probably should. I want to congratulate you, Kyle. Actually, it was. I only got to see the very end, but I'm happy for you, brother. Bowling good, and it's paying off. Like Stu said, you and Anthony have really you guys are both fantastic down there and showing over and over. So kind of evens out for the strike derby.
Yeah, this was a little redemption. I lost to Belmo by a pin in the BES, and then I lost to Simo with 12 strikes. So this was the third time around in this building. So, it was a little redemption week for me. But we're coming for the crown, Pete. You better take your Geritol or whatever it is that those old people do.
If you win King of the Hill, mate, that'll just be another thing on your Player of the Year resume to be second.
Yeah, second on the Player of the Year race. We need the playoffs, man. Gotta have that. I need a few more tournaments.
You need the playoffs in Belmont still not to be able to come in the country.
Yeah.
You're going to need a couple more, a seventh major, I think. But,
yeah. I at least got to win the playoffs, and then I still don't think it's enough. But you never know. Might gain a few pro fans.
Who knows?
Hard to deny the stats. He's up there for a reason. But
you certainly had a great year, Kyle.
Before we let you go, from the fans' perspective, Kyle, it wasn't too long ago that you were in the BES final against that amateur, right? And I think a lot of the bowling world expected you to just smack his ass and take that money, and it didn't go your way. And you mentioned a couple other times you fell short, recently. And as a fan, man, it's just great to see that you break through, and see you on that platform of Player of the Year, and being in that discussion. So kudos to you, man, for not letting those failures get to you and using those as inspiration to come out and get into bigger and better things, man. I'm very impressed by that.
You hit the nail on the head. Well, appreciate it, guys. Thank y'all for everything. Y'all do great stuff here. Beef, Barnzy, Mike. We'll see you guys.
Kyle.
Wesley,
Kyle, safe travels, man.
Sorry I took up so much time, Wesley. But
no problem.
The new mush chair. All right, I'm out.
Okay. Well, that was.
We had another thing come on this week. It was something else, and obviously it got broken live during the show. Where, I don't even know this is pretty unexpected. I'd say he struggled a little bit. Hasn't been on his best run, and comes out and shoots back to back to start off a tournament. 900. The new Robert Mustair of the Arizona clan. A friend of mine, I say loosely, and a Wichita State alum, junior Team USA 100 times, gold medalist, etc. Wesley Low.
Should I change my name to Robert Marshtar? Just put that on the bottom instead now?
No, actually, we got video of it, so we know it actually happened.
Oh, okay, good. Thank goodness.
I guess we only know the last 3 frames happened, but
we've been trying.
One of my really good friends from back home had the most fun about the Mustair things. We thought that was the greatest thing in the history of mankind. The score sheets that come out where it says the team name, it says Mush Monsters, and it's like 176, and then it's scribbled out, and some wrote 300 above it. Like all that stuff, we couldn't get enough of it. So
we've been trying behind the scenes at Sweep the Rack to get in touch with him and get him on our show. And I can tell you, if we do get him, you're not going to want to miss it, because we will call him to task for the bowling community, no question.
My favorite line, and we actually used it on yours as well, was he said the last one came off a little sloppy. And it's like me and Rob just die laughing about it, one of my best friends from back home. And when he saw your last shot, he goes, that 36th one came off a little sloppy. So I guess without further ado, we will attempt to put this into the video skills on this were not great. They did the straight up and down. So was that the 34th?
I think so. I think that was the 34th.
Okay, let me just mute this because we don't need the sound on this, obviously.
Yeah, so my buddy is bowling on the same pair as me, And he had like an Android that he'd had forever up until about 2 weeks ago. And even he said, no. He bought a new phone. And he's like, dude, thank goodness I didn't have that other phone. It would have stunk. It would have been blurry, pixelated. Everything would have been wrong with it. That was.
I mean, I can't believe that you weren't all over his ass. You're about to shoot 900, like, bro, sideways with the camera. Sideways.
No, dude, I don't think I really looked up. Not until the end.
So that was the next one. And then I'm going to put the sound back on because we wanted to here we go. Like, I feel like we need to do it justice of how wild the crowd went when you were struck. So here's for bowling immortality.
Thanks, Ramps.
So yeah, Arizona. I'm a little embarrassed to say that was home. Like, they didn't really dig in for you, did they? There.
Yeah, listen, I got to speak from the fans' perspective for a minute. Whoever was in that bowling center, you should be ashamed of yourself, okay? Except for the guy who was recording it, who was a good hype man for you, Wes. He was properly hyping you. He was into it. You know, he was hype. He has a pass. Everybody else that was in that bowling center should be ashamed of yourself. That was a weak response to a 900 series. When a 900 series is bowled, we need triumphant celebration, okay?
Like, storm the court.
Yeah, that was the opposite of what we need. That was golf clap, okay? Nonsense. People in Arizona, get it together. Whatever bowling center that was, get it together.
That's a great take.
At the moment.
Thank you.
You know, I'm sorry I missed this while Kyle was still on here, but Kenny is the Pete super fan of all super fans. He is more loyal than any of us have a right to have, and he wanted to make sure that Troup knew that Pete was going to beat him. Kenny's been watching Pete since I started on tour, and he was probably like 7 or 8 years old at the time, and he'll follow Pete anywhere, watch him every time he bowls. No matter what place Pete's in, he's got his back. Shout out, Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny's the best. I'm beating Pete by 400. I go, I'm going to beat Pete this week. And he goes, no. Kenny, there's only 12 frames left. I've got him.
Yeah. Does he still have a chance? No, Kenny doesn't.
No, Kenny, if I get 0 for the next 12 shots, I'm still going to win.
There you go. Kenny's the man. So I've never had that many in a row. What's going through your head? What are you trying to do to throw something relatively normal with all that going on?
Dude, I've never had 200-300s in a row. Like, that's never happened. The most I probably had is like 17 in a row. So when I got to 24, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then I threw the next 7, and that's when it like sunk in. I was like, oh wow, I actually I could shoot 900. So now that's when I'm starting to like think about it, and that's when I'm like, oh man, don't screw this up, dude. Like, this is like your one and only chance. But then like after that, I started thinking about like the other things, like the process of like, you know, slowing yourself down, because like you guys know me, like that 10th frame was probably the longest 10th frame I've ever bowled in my life. So like that to me, I had to like really slow down, because I'm just like, I gotta throw good shots. Like, if it happens, it happens. But as long as I put it close, I can't be disappointed in myself. But like, that's all I was thinking. And I was like nervous. That 10th frame, I was like, I need 3 strikes in the 10th and I shoot 900. Well, I should probably do something right here and not screw this one up.
Yeah, you are a little anti-Wichita State, anti-collegiate bowling as far as your pace of play.
Yeah. I like to just pick up the ball, wipe it with the towel once, and just go. Usually not much longer than that.
So here's somebody who's obviously a fan of the Wesley Low YouTube channel. Do you feel like your backyard lane helped in your 900?
Oh, for sure. Why wouldn't it? You're bowling on no oil, so you got to roll the ball harder. Oh, it's perfect. No, I haven't been in Wichita very long. When tour started, like we were gone every week. And then once the coronavirus happened, I basically went home and been home for 3 months. I went back to Wichita once, like for maybe 3 days, and then I left. Like that was all I've been in Wichita for like the last 6 months or 7 months. I wish though. It helped before, I think. Back page is pretty good.
I think I guess I think the thing I find most amazing about 900 is the fact that nobody ever misses the last one. And like I would feel like, I mean, you tried pretty hard.
I did. I donked it as much as I could. I donked it.
It just amazes me. It's like the pins know that you're on the front 35 and they're like, just hit the front one, son. We got you.
Yeah, that's literally what happened.
Because I feel like it should happen like at least 30 or 40% of the time.
The Queen Bee she had 34, right?
I thought she bowled 890. I thought she had a 290.
Oh, you're right.
Or something like that.
Well, I'm not sure.
I know there's a guy in New Jersey, Tom Jordan, lefty, who shot 899.
Yeah, that
Did
was
he miss on the last shot?
I was a kid when that happened. That was with like a sure hook or something.
I think you're right, Stu. It wasn't a miss on the absolute last shot, though.
I literally don't know anybody who's got the front 35 and then missed.
It's a fair
To be
point.
fair, I know very few people have the front 35. So
no, but I mean,
better point.
Like watching the stats and stuff, and like, look, Wes, I'm Stu 900. I think 900 is brilliant. I'd rather bowl 900 and have another PBA title. I think it's awesome. There's way less people with 900 than with PBA titles. Let's go.
36 or 37. 37 if you count Glenn's, which it should be counted.
Nick says, I can't believe you threw an ASIM for 3 games straight, let alone 900. Well, to be fair, they don't change a lot on the left.
Left's pretty walled all the time, too. I stood on the big dot as usual. I threw it 100 miles per hour, and I struck 36 times. That's what happened.
I'm just shocked you used a reactive ball, not an asymmetrical ball. Let's not get...
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not you. That's just any left-handed player. I mean, like, literally this weekend, there was more 300s shot with reactives by lefties than there's probably been in the last 3 years.
Oh my God,
Jacob
so true.
shot 300 as well. That's one thing we didn't even hit on, Mike. Jacob bowled 300. What would the Vegas odds have been of that and it not be the Purple Hammer?
Listen, if he figures it out with reactive equipment, it could be a problem. I mean,
Could it though?
Yeah, I really think it could. I mean, he's very unique, man. If he finds a way to make that work on a regular basis, he strikes a lot.
But here's the difference, though, Mike, is I don't necessarily think there are many times when what Jacob does would be better with reactive
than with your thing. Okay.
Fair
point.
Like when he needs to use reactive, the way the lanes are on the left isn't really necessarily conducive to any left-hander doing really well.
Right.
Like, because we don't bowl on some, like, I don't know. Anyway, that's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is it's 575 RPMs and 16 miles an hour ball speed it's not like he has a huge, like Wesley can throw it very hard. And you can also throw it slow, which allows him to throw a lot more different types of balls. Jacob basically throws it, he can throw it a little slower and a little faster, but it's not crazy difference. And so, but I mean, I get your point. It certainly makes him more versatile, I guess, than Jesper. But how many times does it come into play? It's probably.
Although I think that Jesper has a title with a reactive ball, and I don't think Jacob does.
Thailand, right? I think Thailand he threw a lock or something like that.
Oh, yeah, on that 48-foot. Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I remember that. I was there for part of that. So.
So Wesley, I know you were bowling a tournament when you bowled this 900. Did you bowl the 3 games on different pairs?
Yeah, so the first 2 games were on 13 and 14. So like
it
was 10 games. So you bowled 2 games on one pair and then you moved one right the next game. So like every 2 games you were moving right. So it was kind of crazy too. I was following a lefty. And so I did think about this in that 3rd game. I was like, I wonder how this pair is going to be when I get there. Like, it's a house shot. I get it. But, like, people still make something different happen. Like, I set up my own pair on the first game. So that might have been the reason why it was so well. But, yeah, it was
it's true. When you're on the front all, a 6-pin in the first frame does suck.
Yeah, it does. Sorry, I smashed a 10-pin on the first one in the next game. I'm like, all right, well, it's over.
That's a great question. I hope Wesley won the tournament.
How much did you win by?
I lost by about 200.
What?
Yeah, it was a handicap tournament, and so it's
Oh,
like a
okay.
it's like
All
a
right,
week.
all right.
Are you
weekend-
saying he was handicapped to beat you?
To be
Yeah.
fair, Wesley, being as I'm from that area. I'm pretty sure William Graham didn't ever have any handicap.
Then
And
he
I'm
beat me
pretty
scratch
certain
and
Mike
ice dunk.
Fitzgerald didn't have any handicap. And did Bobby have any handicap?
Yeah, he got 13 pins.
Again.
Biggest scam. Had 130 pins for the set. Biggest
Okay.
scam ever. But
Okay.
I mean, now he's gonna get re-rated every tournament he bowls when they see Bobby Hornacek. But
Pretty sure Prince Elliott was on none. Dylan Taylor was on 0. I understand you beat those guys, but I'm pretty sure they didn't shoot 900 to start.
yeah,
Wes,
my,
you got to an explanation is needed here, my man. You shot 900 for the first 3, and you finished 8th, even
Ninth.
in a handicap. Come on, explain yourself.
my typical self came back out. I think I got lucky for 3 games. The blind squirrel found the acorn, and then the next 7, I just did the typical
So
Wesley.
you did the Joe Scarborough.
Yeah. I tried going back on the back page. I just, luckily 900 helped me stay in the top for a little bit.
And before anybody says it, yes, the lady who won is left-handed.
I didn't know that.
Dear.
Whoops.
That's amazing.
Uh-oh.
Oh, sorry.
Too late, my man. Too late.
Yeah, Bagger, you're out.
So we always forget that Duke tossed 3 300s. Literally nobody forgets that.
I was there. Johnny
Yeah,
Petraglia
people-
Open.
Now people have forgotten that Dave Bowles shot 900. It was in a regional, crossing pairs and all the other stuff, and it was a long time ago with urethane. But Norm did it in Peoria, I believe.
Johnny Petraglia Open.
Uh,
Yeah, and there was a break in blocks too. He shot 300, took a break and came back, shot 300 again.
Yeah, it's
Firestorm.
wildly impressive.
Firestorm was the ball.
Firestorm. There you go.
Yeah,
Mike dropping the knowledge.
I was there. I was a teenager. I'm telling you, I saw it live.
We watching it with Bill.
It's likely we were up there together. You'd have to tell me exactly what year it was, and then I would know who had their license and who didn't. But yeah, it's likely we were up there. The guys who brought us up, they didn't bring us up in the game. Who taught us a lot. They both owned pro shops at different bowling centers. One I bowled at, and one Bill bowled at. So they would always go up to the Johnny Petraglia Open to get all the used bowling balls, and we would then plug and drill a lot of those balls. They would pick them up cheap from the truck, and it was a cheap way for us to get access to some balls back in the day. So, Wes, man, you didn't win the tournament. Does that bother you? It's got to bother you a little bit, no?
No.
Oh,
No,
my
because-
God,
because-
900.
It was
That's part of the-
2,000 for first.
Dude,
Oh, my God.
okay, you're right. The money is
Of course it
whatnot,
bothered
like
you.
to win.
Get
No,
out of here, it didn't bother
it didn't bother me as much because, dude, I shot 900. The fact that I was still walking and do the next shot and still hit the pocket was amazing. I couldn't believe I did that. That's like an accomplishment that I should have just quit, retired, and found a new profession because I had done bowling
Nah,
professionally.
no way. No
Well,
way. Come on, I
Mustaine had 4 in a row.
disagree
Big
with
deal.
that.
What?
Mustaine actually had 4 in a row. Nobody even talks about that. He had 900 one week, started the next week with 300. 4-bagger.
Is he lefty-handed? I know he did it. I was
No.
I was 3 years old when it happened. Oh,
The
Nah,
greatest
right.
video of all time is when Tim Mack goes up and's like, I don't think he did it. The guy stinks. On the news, Timmy went up there, bowled with him, and goes, I don't see it.
Yeah. It's how nervous were you? What was leg shaking, hand shaking? What happens when you get nervous there?
I wasn't shaking.
I was in it actually. So
Yeah, I wasn't shaking, but my mind was going a million miles per hour, which usually happens. But that was the most nervous I felt in forever. Knowing that I had to throw 3 really good shots and had to strike, that was nerve wracking. It's more mentally is where I was at. My body was calm, and I don't understand how, because usually when I had a moment, in youth career, like I had a moment, I'd always be shaking. I'd always be like have the jitters and like can't move or can't walk or anything like that. But like that one, body was fine. Just the mind wasn't quite all there. It was interesting.
Well, it's hard to ever bring up a 900 without this coming up. Glenn Allison's 300 should be Shanks and still to this day. Wonder if they will ever pass it. I do have a little bit of insight. The problem is that legally, if they do it, it opens up to every 300 that was ever not passed. And so that's the holdup. Nobody thinks that it's not legit, especially by today's standards. But then you open yourself up to all of the 300s that ever got turned down over 40 years, 50 years, whatever it is. And it's potentially a legal disaster from that standpoint. So legal is in the way of basically every bowler acknowledges that Glenn's 900 was the original 900.
I think that gets way more publicity because it didn't get sanctioned.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we barely remember, not that we don't barely, but Jeremy Sonnenfeld's thing was stunning when it happened. But we don't talk about him so much as we talk about Glenn Allison even to this day.
Pulse, if you haven't got one, you're dead. Greatest ball commercial of all time. That's what it said on the posters.
Yeah.
If you haven't got one, you're dead. Best ever.
That was solid. We tried to parlay that a little bit. Dornberger was trying to help him, and he tried to parlay that into a real deal, and it backfired a little bit. And so, through no fault of his own, he didn't really get nearly as much publicity, notoriety, or financial gain out of that as probably should have at the time. Because he certainly helped sell a lot of bowling balls.
Yeah. I mean, Jeff Riggles was actually discussing it over whether Wesley was the most outside of Glenn Allison, whether Wesley was the most accomplished person to ever shoot 900. He says you are, Wesley.
I'm honored. He doesn't look at the PBA results this year, so I don't know.
I think the thing is though, I think it's just indicative maybe of the people of like the fact that pros not many people bowl league and not pay. Like, it's a really difficult thing to do. And obviously, if you don't expose yourself to lane conditions, because let's be honest, like, you're not shooting that on a PBA pattern, like in real terms.
Yeah, no.
It's not going to happen.
No, not a chance.
Hello, Mike. What they bowled on this weekend, they might have a chance.
According to you anyway. Yeah, to give some background, we're watching the show this weekend, and me and Stu are texting back and forth, and he asked me what they're bowling on. I told him, it's this pattern, that pattern. He's like,
Yeah, at the time, I didn't even know they were bowling on two patterns because I didn't see the first two games. I came in and I watched, and they showed Simonson throwing a shot, and I'm like, how walled are they? He was throwing it to the gutter, and now he's throwing it like in the middle of the lane.
Yeah, so he texted me and said, this is house pattern. This is house pattern to us. I said, all right, that's fine. I mean, I don't have that inside knowledge of what you guys would consider on the easier side. And then like an hour later, my boy's throwing gutter balls and crossovers left and right, double Brooklyn. So I text Stu back. I said, well, Stu, if what you're saying is true, this speaks very poorly for my guy here. Very poorly. But
and I spoke to you about this, and I said, that actually reaffirms my belief that it was basically a house shot, because if it's flat, he'll never averages less than 225. He's unbelievable. I ain't taking it. I ain't asking him to sub in league.
Me either. He tell me no, so it doesn't matter. Anyway.
If it's sport league, then you're up, Bill. I might be giving Wes a call.
Thanks. You got my number.
I'm kind of honored. I mean, I see what you wear to go bowl, and then you get dressed up to come on our show. I guess it's nice. And comb your hair.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that? Like, why I'm in a hat, why I look like a bum. I was supposed to bowl a regional this past weekend in California, so I went home to see family. I was going to bowl a regional. California gets shut down again. Mike and Brandy and Steve are all roasting me. Come to bowl A's or B3 performance. Come practice. You stink right now. You need to work on your game before you bowl the Vegas regional. I said, okay, fine, whatever. So I text Bobby, and I'm like, hey, can you pick me up from the airport? I guess I'll come tomorrow. And he's like, hey, I'm bowling a tournament. You want to bowl? And I'm like, I get it on time, so I guess it's okay. So I flew at 5 a.m. to get to Arizona around 8, 9 o'clock, and I literally went to the tournament. And they were talking me out of it. They're like, don't bowl it. You don't need a bowl. What's the point? You might as well just go to B3 and go practice instead. And I was like, well, I've only bowled maybe 4 times in the last 2 months, so maybe I should go try and get a kind of competition sharp.
But to be fair, it is a little flatter right now than it was. It did look a little better.
Yeah, before the 2 months, I got roasted by Mike for about 3 hours, and a lot of, Mike's really, kid, you can't get your swing lower like that for about 3 hours. So, I worked pretty hard for the time I got to practice to try to, fix my game a little bit.
Yeah, Wes, we've got what does Wesley average in league? We'll just go with what was your best performance.
When I was young, I think my high average was 240, and then I slowly stopped bowling league, and then I turned 21, and league's a little different now.
Mike, amateurs 240.
I stink, man.
Depends what you're bowling on.
That'd be one of the tough houses. 240. Jesus.
This is from AAJJ's doubles partner from Columbus. He said you should have rolled the 3-pin to finish it off, like his partner.
Tried my hardest.
Yeah, AJ won in the doubles up in Columbus. He bowled with Robert, and AJ. To be fair to AJ, yes, we can give him a little bit of a hard time about rolling the 2-pin. He did almost beat the field by 120 or something in 5 games. He shot.
Could have bowled with anybody and won. Could have bowled with anybody and won that doubles tournament. It's crazy. Yeah. Crushed them.
That reminds me of when Belmo and Bill bowled Columbus.
Robert and Bill O'Neill.
And I referred to Bill as one of 109 because there was 120 people in the field and 109 of them could have bowled with Belmo and made the doubles cut. And Bill's response to me was, F you, I'm third.
Well,
don't let the truth get in the way, Bill.
Yeah.
The guy who was in 109th could bowl with Belmo and still make it.
It's easy. Yeah, I mean, your swing's nice and loose when you're bowling with him, so it's easy to be in there when your swing is nice and loose like that, Wes, your boy on the video, he actually explained that you were like 50-50 on bowling the event. As you're going up for one of the shots, he says, he wasn't even going to bowl today. He was 50-50 on bowling today.
To be fair, he only bowled 50% of the time.
True. 30% actually, it sounds like.
I mean, he put on another 140 for 7. I mean, he averaged 220 the back 7 games on something he was averaging.
Yeah, with all the transition that happens on the left, that's understandable.
Yeah, exactly.
Congrats, man. Congratulations. Excellent.
It is actually very cool.
Excellent accomplishment. Very cool. Very cool thing.
I think it's one of the accomplishments that gets overlooked the most and doesn't get its just due because we all bowl on things that are easy. We all feel like we have it to nuts, and there's not that list is not littered with hundreds of people that have done it. It's a pretty amazing thing.
Wow.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All right, I have a question. Before you kick me off, before you end the show, I'm sure people are bored of me. But Mike, do you golf?
No, but I understand that I have a background in it.
Okay, I know you two golf. I know Barnes is a very good putt champ. It's the only thing he's good at. I'm kidding. Now I'm gonna get roasted later again by him.
That's great. Congratulations on your second check on PBA Tour.
Whenever
that happens.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that.
No, he bowled 2 300s. Oh no, it was the PTQ. They don't pay.
I got to check for that. I got to check for $100 for each 300 game. So I
did that. In the PTQ?
Yeah, in the PTQ. Jesus. So now I'm looking at my third now. There you go. I'm looking at my third.
PTQ. What was that? Is that Saturday's show? The tour finals?
Yeah.
All right, come on, Wes. What's your point?
Go ahead. Yeah.
I've been off social media, but yesterday I started engaging with this kid. He's a golfer, I guess, and he says, what's the equivalent of this in golf? It's like an AM could accomplish this, but it only seems comparable. I'm like, I actually just started bowling full-time professionally, recently graduated college, and bowled in college. I like to play golf, not an expert by any means, but I say it's hard to compare. But if you give an amateur 36 shots, can they hit a hole in one? And then this guy's like, oh, thanks for playing into the seed, bowling versus golf. An ace is harder than game on. And I'm like, dude, it's not a competition. I'm not trying to like say bowling's better or the 900's harder, but like then I list the stats. I'm like, there's 36 certified plus Glenn Allison's, and like how many hole in ones are there? I don't know what the comparable stat
It's
would
not
be.
a hole in one, it's a 59. Like,
yeah,
or
okay.
58,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
To me, that's the comparable one. Like,
but the thing is, how often does that happen, even from the pros? Unless they wall the course up for the week.
That's what I'm saying. It's not that often that they shoot under 60.
Yeah,
It's happened more than 900.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So, but that would be it's stupid to say, oh, you have to like birdie every hole or whatever. I mean, that's just stupid. Like that's just, whatever.
No, see, I gotta say, Stu, to me, when he asked that, what came into my mind would be like eagling every hole. Eagling every hole. I mean, that if you're a golfer, outside of a hole in one, like the next best thing you want is an eagle. So
but you're talking about 18 eagles as opposed to something that like a strike is significantly easier than a eagle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're throwing 36 strikes.
Yeah, but you're talking about 18 eagles.
Yeah, I guess. To say hole in one would be ridiculous. That would be ridiculous. But
a hole in one is the equivalent of a 300 game, I would guess. But whatever.
Oh. See, I didn't know, but I just said, like a hole. But he said an am too. Like you said an am. I'm like, amateurs are pretty good, but like 36 times is pretty tough. Or not 30,
Frank.
You get 36.
Frank. If you shoot 900, I'll have you on. Anybody who shoots 900,
yeah.
I've got you back. No pro defends 900 more than me.
Frank, or you could start your own podcast and talk a bunch of shit about professional bowling. Then they might invite you on too. So that's another angle. If you want to get on, you do that. That's what I did. So take my advice.
There you go. We got people that they got info for us. So
all right,
10:59. Okay, all right.
So that's
on PGA Tour, not just in their local.
Yeah.
Because the guy said am. Like I didn't justify that I was a great professional bowler. I just said I was a professional bowler who pays for my dues. But he said an am doing that. Like, all right, well, if an am does a hole in one, that was my thought process. If an am does that, like, is that possible?
Yeah, maybe a 2 on a par 5 or a 1 on a par 4. That's probably close to.
Tell me that's close.
Having done as many times, there can't be very many of either one of those.
Unless you're Bryson DeChambeau, maybe you can just get a hole in one on a par 5 on a short par 5.
Yeah, Happy Gilmore himself, brilliant. Bryson DeChambeau has literally made golf entertaining. The best thing, we're going so far off the beaten path here, but the best thing that I've heard about Bryson DeChambeau right now is that he's messing up his approach stats because any shot that gets within 25 yards of the green, they consider to be an approach shot. So he's got like multiple drives on par 4s that count as approach shots.
Dude stinks. Didn't he get a 10? Didn't he get a 10 over the weekend or something?
Oh yeah, he and Jack Nicklaus was on. I was watching it. Jack Nicklaus was on the commentary, and he goes, he dropped the ball, he slashed at it, it went out of bounds. He dropped the ball, he slashed at it, it went out of bounds. And Nick Faldo goes, "Do you think he's going to? Do you think he's going to lay up now?" And Jack Nicklaus goes, "No, he's tin cup in this one." I thought that was brilliant. Popular culture reference by a 70-year-old.
I like this. Got 20 JBT titles. Where do I submit my resume? I would suggest the Bone and Zano show.
He's also got a New Mexico Open, Chris. That's a pretty prestigious title.
Oh, yeah, he has one of those. That's why he has the show then. I get it.
No reason to let me on.
Now, Wesley, Chris has a show because I don't have multiple friends with 19 titles.
There's also that.
Oh, never mind. I thought you shorted him one.
That's
You
pretty
really
cool.
shorted him like 15, actually, but yeah.
Well, by today's standards, I actually have about 32. But
yeah.
But since most of mine happened more than 7 or 8 years ago, it's still 19.
So, okay, well, it's been great, guys. We've kept the audience pretty high for the whole time. Thanks, we really appreciated it. Big Mike, do you want to plug your shows coming up?
Yeah, Sweep the Rack, man. You guys know what it is. Wednesday night, we'll be on. We got our interactive show. Come join us. We like to chop it up with the fans. And we just released an interview with Kelly Kulick, Chris, one of your favorites, earlier this week. So check that out. That's out there. And we're out there. So check us out on social media. Appreciate you guys having me, though, as always.
So just quick, Mike, you got a YouTube channel?
Yeah, we're on YouTube, Facebook, all that, Twitter, Instagram, across the board.
All right, so give them a subscribe. The more subscribers you get for YouTube, the more things it opens up. It makes it easier to produce content. So
when these guys all actually get back to bowling and doing what they really do, we'll be the source for your information when these guys are actually out there doing their thing.
Yeah, you'll be head to head with the Bonanzano zone.
Yeah, no doubt, absolutely.
We've been trying. I've been trying to. I discovered today that YouTube had been putting numerous ad breaks in one of our shows. So anybody who watched the EJ Tackett one, I'm really sorry. We had 18 ad breaks. 18 YouTube, seriously, 18. So I had to go through and delete some of those because that is a little bit ridiculous. Thank you to the person who let me know. I just assumed that they would put in a reasonable amount. I guess we had a lot of stop talking. So YouTube were just like, good time for an ad break. Good time for an ad break. Good time for an ad break. So, yeah, it was pretty bad. And bearing in mind there wasn't an ad break in the last 20 minutes of it, you get an idea of how many ads there were.
Sorry, wow. You know what it means, son. You know what it is.
So, Mike, it doesn't really help you because people just stop watching.
True.
They don't get paid. It's just annoying.
Yeah, I was going to say I've heard about Dr. Barnes' frugalness. I was going to say it was probably him thinking you got paid more by the ad, so he put 18 of them in one video.
Yeah,
want them all in. That's right.
Those dimes really add up. You know what I'm saying? 10 cents a time really adds up.
My goal is only to have more money at the end of the day than the beginning, every single day.
So
that's the Woody Page board.
So, Chris, who have you? What's the deal today? You gonna?
We're gonna bowl. We are not gonna bowl in the short pattern. Everybody's had enough of that. It's gonna be a long pattern today. We're gonna be there around. It'll be about 1 o'clock Central action. It sounds like we're gonna have a few newcomers, so a little bigger crew. I imagine the scores will be significantly higher.
Lawn guy, landscaper, air conditioning guy.
I'm basically trying to get all my bills paid all at one time.
Okay, well, hopefully your bills don't double. If you bowl like you did at the weekend, you might be paying twice as much.
That might be right. That might be right. That was it's not my best showing, that's for sure.
It was the pressure of bowling in front of your wife.
Yeah, she. Yeah, Keith Lesko. One more day is short. Tuesday Action Pod Games had a nice showing at the regional. We had a PBA 50 winner. We had a 4th place on the PBA 50 side, and 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, and I think 10th was all the guys that have bowled on that short last few weeks.
So there you go. Head over there.
It's good, man. Build the grassroots side of the competitive side of the game. That's what we got to do. Any way that any of you guys or anybody really that can build that grassroots side of the competitive side of the game, expose people to it, get them out there practicing on it. You know, I know Matt Wozni, who was doing some work for Flow, is doing the same thing in Delaware. You know, I give a lot of credit to anybody who's putting those things together. We gotta spread that competitive side of the game, man. Got to get it out there.
That's the idea. You know, my son's getting ready to go to Wichita State and get him some experience and do some of that. And it's not big money, but it's a chance to play against some really good competition and bowl on some things and relatively inexpensively get some experience and prepare yourself for the next level, whatever that level is.
That's awesome.
Of course, you exaggerated.
Well, thanks for watching, guys. We will be back on Thursday. No doubt we will be chopping it up about the King of the Lanes, or will it be a Queen of the Lanes? Let's see what goes on.
Well, any last words, Wesley?
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Appreciated the roast session. Love
What's your address for your YouTube channel? I know that's the thing you want people to follow. So,
Oh, that'd be cool. I appreciate that. I think it's just Wesley Low. It's just my name. YouTube.com//Wesley Low.
wait to plug it, Wes.
Yeah. If you guys want to go see Backyard Bowling,
It's forward
really
slash.
all I'm known for. Oh, /
Yeah.
I'm the millennial, and you know more than I do.
So Wesley Low, thanks for coming. Follow his YouTube channel. It's got some pretty entertaining stuff on it. He's the next Brad and Kyle in the making if he ever makes a cut.
Gotta get out of the PTQ to make a cut.
All right.
Take it easy.
Again, thanks for watching. We'll be back on Thursday morning. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, support your small businesses, and God bless.
Later, guys.
Bye.